everyone, welcome to Yoga Upload. I'm Maris Aylward. Today's video is part 1, the introduction to a new video series we're doing here on yoga props. As you can see here, I'm surrounded by all my yoga props. So in this series, we'll talk about what these are, what is their purpose, how do you use them in your practice, what are the specific ways that you can use them in certain postures depending on your limitations and your conditions, on your objectives in your practice. We'll also talk about where you can buy them, where you can get them, how much they cost. There's a range of prices and different brands that you can look at. And also, if you don't want to spend the money on these yoga props, what are the household items that you already have that you can use as a substitute? Now, you might be asking, are these yoga props absolutely necessary in one's yoga practice? No, they are not. All you need in your yoga practice is your body, your breath, your own willingness, curiosity, your time, your efforts, and maybe a little bit of space in your house where you can practice. Now, having said that, do I think that yoga props can be beneficial in one's practice? Yes. Depending again on your limitations and certain things that you're trying to do, maybe some conditions that you might have, yoga props can be helpful. They can teach us something about our body, about our yoga practice. In my years of studying yoga and teaching yoga, I encounter a lot of different yoga studios, yoga schools, and just like different philosophies on using yoga props. So on the one end, you have Bikram yoga and hot yoga and sometimes Ashtanga yoga too, where they have no yoga props in their yoga studios. In Bikram especially, they kind of frown upon using yoga props. They call it furniture yoga because you have all that stuff around you. And so some people that study under these yoga styles feel that using yoga props in your practice is like cheating because you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing in the pose because you're using your props to assist you. So that's one point of view on that. On the other extreme, you have very prop heavy yoga practices. Iyengar yoga, for example, he was actually one of the pioneers in using yoga props in practice. There's an Iyengar yoga studio, Iyengar inspired yoga studio here in Kansas City, and it's amazing. On their walls they have these straps where you can hang upside down, they have all these contraptions, and of course different kinds of yoga props, just the complete set and everything. And it's wonderful because they do a lot of therapeutic yoga over there. The downside is that people who practice that way and only that way start to feel like they can't really do the poses without the yoga props. They become too dependent on the props. They're afraid to maybe venture out into a different place that doesn't have all the accoutrements. They don't want to practice at home because they don't have all the stuff. And so that's a downside of that. What I think is that though props are not necessary, I don't want you to think that you have to spend money on all of these things. You do not. But if they are available and if you can get some substitutes and you don't have to spend money, they can be beneficial. If it helps you, if it supports you, then use it. It's not cheating. It's not laziness. These are tools. Okay, these are tools that we can use. You don't have to be dependent on them. They are not the center of your yoga practice. It's just something that you use for your own learning. And that's why I'm doing this video series, is because when I'm teaching at a yoga studio face to face, I can see people, I can see how they're doing, and I can give them the props if I feel like they will benefit from using the prop in a certain pose. But because we're doing this online, I can't see you and I can't really see what you're needing in certain poses. So I want to do this video so that you can see all the ways that we use the props and you can decide if and when to use them. You will know how to use them to support you, to enhance a certain pose, to make it more accessible, for example, or so that you can do the pose without any pain or too much discomfort. You'll learn how to do all of that, hopefully, in this video series. So the first video on the series, it'll be posted next week, is the yoga blocks video. I think yoga blocks are very versatile. You can use them in so many ways, and you can actually have fun with this and use it very creatively also. So that's coming up next week. Thank you for joining me today, and if you have any questions, make sure to write that in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. Alright, I'll see you next time.